Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been one long week without a Barça game, but they are back in action this weekend and we will be facing a very familiar face in the opposition dugout. It is Quique Setién, who returns to face Barça. We're going to be talking here all about Villarreal versus Barcelona on Sunday, with particular emphasis today on midfield, because we have to replace Sergio Busquets in this lineup, but certainly amongst Barça fans, with the way that we've been playing recently, with the way that we've all been feeling, that optimism, that enthusiasm right now, it is still burning within us. We are ready for this game. We are ready for whatever comes our way. And we are going to be hoping for another special weekend. So come on, and let's do it. Because today's match preview, guys, is coming to you courtesy of the Fandango app. And this is something that I have been using now for several weeks. Whether it is there staying up to date with the latest news, especially when it comes to Barça, or building your own lineups there. Really good tool. Great for sharing with your friends, and also there on social media when discussing what the team should be. And now on Fandango, you've got player ratings as well. Right there on the app, you can rate every single player from the game after it happens, and also the coach as well. And if you want to do your player ratings, guys, after Barça versus Villarreal, and send them to me, I will certainly look to share them there. Send them to me on Instagram or something like that. And if you do follow the link in the description down below, that will actually take you straight to the TalkFCB chat on Fandango. I was there with a lot of you guys before the game against Sevilla. We had a lot of fun, and I'll be joining you again this week too. Just follow that link there. It'll take you straight to it. And I thank all of you guys who get involved. Because indeed, on Sunday, Barça will be heading there to Estadio de la Ceramica, the 22,000-seater there. And you've got to remember, guys, in the city of Villarreal, they have a population of just over 50,000 people. This is a club, this is a city there, the Yellow Submarine, who consistently have punched above their weight in European football. And it's always a really intense game when we head to Villarreal. Once again, we will be playing the final game on Sunday, 9 p.m. local time kickoff, exactly the same as the game against Sevilla, and we'll be hoping for the same result. And of course, on Sunday, I am very much aware it is also Super Bowl Sunday. That should be a really fun night for sure, because when you're looking at the La Liga table right now, first of all, looking at our opponents, Villarreal, you can see there, they're a quality team. They're in 6th place right now, and they're very much in the hunt for that top 4 position, a Champions League place for next season. They've got the joint second best defence in the division, although they have struggled when it comes to goal scoring. Out of the top 8 teams in the league, Villarreal have actually scored the least goals. But when you're looking at Barça, well, we're not struggling for goals, and we're also not struggling down the other end either. Best attack, best defence in the league, and that is why we stand right now 8 points clear of Real Madrid at the top. And I think what's really exciting this weekend is that we can actually extend that gap to 11 points. We could be double digits clear by the end of the weekend, because Real Madrid will not be in action there. They're out right now playing at the Club World Cup, and so they are not on La Liga duty this weekend. Although I will just say, guys, if you do want a rival to keep an eye on this weekend, keep an eye on Sunday on Manchester United's game. They're going to be playing against Leeds in the Premier League. That's the same day that we're playing there. And of course, that's ahead of our big game with them on Thursday. So definitely keeping an eye on what they're doing. They actually drew with Leeds in midweek there, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond on Sunday. But I think this is a big weekend for us, and I think it's a really big game in many, many ways, because we've just had that full week's rest. I think that's really beneficial for the team. It's rare for us, and returning now against a quality team, against a tough opponent like Villarreal, and with that big United game now lurking on the horizon, we just need to keep going. We just want to keep that winning feeling going now. Don't have any slip-ups, don't have any bumps in the road. We've got to keep that momentum going, and that means winning on Sunday, because when you look at what Villarreal were able to do against Real Madrid, this happened just last month. They took the game to them. They really did go for Real Madrid, matching up with them in all areas of the field, and they were outstanding. And it was a really big result, a big win for them, and it was no fluke either. They very nearly did the same again to Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey just weeks after that game, so we do have to be careful. And like I say, with Quique Setién now in the hot seat at Villarreal, replacing Unai Emery there in his first job since being sacked as the Barça coach back in 2020, I thought that Quique Setién actually had some nice words for Barça and the club ahead of this game. He did say it's not a special match, it's not, something completely different, it is just going to be another game for me, but he did say the reality is that this is a team in Barça that I've always liked. I've always admired them. He said, I've never hidden that throughout my career. He said, we all know about Barca's great philosophy, and he said, I've got no doubt at all they're going to maintain that and continue that there with a coach like Xavi. So nice words there from Quique Setién. I think the big question undoubtedly coming into this game for Xavi, it all revolves around Sergio Busquets, because that is a massive miss for him. We know how much Xavi trusts in Busquets, how he's been in this new system. He's adapted really well. Now we've been using 4 midfielders, and losing him there, it certainly does provide questions in that midfield area. Now the obvious choice, of course, to replace him, as we saw against Sevilla, it would be Kessie. He's the man there who you'd be looking at to step up in Busquets' absence. And I think it's important here, though, just to highlight, he's a different player. He might be able to replace Busquets like for like in the team, one out, one in, but he's a very different proposition there. And the system, I feel, would change slightly with Kessie instead of Busquets. Because when you look here at Kessie and the way that he goes about his game there, looking around at those other midfielders as well, you've got Xavi off to the left, you've got Pedri, you've got Frankie, but I think with Kessie instead of Busquets, he's a lot more advanced. He will look to make more advanced runs, much, much more advanced than Sergio Busquets does. And what that automatically means then is that you're looking at Frankie de Jong to be that bit more defensive. With Kessie alongside him, suddenly Frankie, he's the one dropping in. He's the one who's a bit more deep lying in that midfield straight away. I think you also look at somebody like Jules Koundé on that right-hand side. Maybe they have to do a bit more too, operating in that space, being intelligent there in their positioning. But I think it's a really interesting blend, and I think especially for opposition teams, it's very unpredictable having a player like Kessie in there, because you look at the game against Sevilla, whereby Kessie, for that big opening goal, look at the position that he takes up. He finds himself there right the way deep, our most advanced player in the Sevilla box. Now, they didn't expect that. They weren't prepared for that. They didn't really know how to deal and handle that run, and it provided the opening goal. So we can certainly use that to our advantage. It's a different kind of player. It's a different proposition, but that's also why I'm glad we've had the whole week here. Xavi on the training ground now. He knew that Busquets wasn't going to be available. We know that we weren't going to have Dembele, and now we've been able to plan and work and perfect the system on the training ground this week, all in time now for this game. However, it is not absolutely guaranteed that Kessie does replace Busquets. That is not the only option that Xavi has right now. The question that I would also ask there following up to that is, do you then, stick with 4 midfielders? Do you bring Kessie in to replace Busquets, making sure that Xavi stays there off to the left-hand side? Or there is the option for Xavi of reverting to that traditional 4-3-3 shape there, replacing Busquets with 3 midfielders there, Frankie, Pedri, Xavi in that midfield, and then out on the left, do you bring in a traditional forward? Do you play somebody like Ansu Fati on that left-hand side? We had a lot of talk about him in the media, a lot of talk there about the minutes that he's receiving. Could this be a game that he plays in and is called upon by Xavi? So which one of those two would you go with? Stick with what we've been doing? Stick with that 4 midfielder system that's worked so well for us? Or, without Busquets, do you switch back to the traditional 4-3-3? Well, in my opinion, I would certainly be lining up there. Ter Stegen in goal, we know that. He's been instrumental in this team. Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, we love those 3. We absolutely adore them in this team. And then I think coming back in, Alejandro Balde. Alba was very good, extremely good, I thought, against Sevilla, and we paid a lot of credit to him, but I do want to see Balde back in this team there, and that is, for me, our strongest back line at the club. And then in midfield, I would stick with the 4. I would have there Frankie de Jong, I would have Frank Kessie. I think in a game like this against a team like Villarreal, having those 4 midfielders, you want to get on the ball. Against a Quique Setién team, you want to command control of a game like this. And then, of course, the 2 attacking players. It's going to be Lewandowski, scored 2 in the reverse game against Villarreal earlier this season. And Rafinha, big game for him too. Got a highlight there. He was much improved as the game went on against Sevilla. He's got to really pick up on that now. He's got to keep that confidence going and believe he's good enough. Believe here that you can have that impact on the team. So that there is the lineup that I would go with. Keep things familiar. Keep things on the same path that we have been on, because we know what this team can do. And in terms of your predictions coming into this game, guys, I've got to say, incredible consistency from Barca fans on my community section right now. Every single week, I think we all agree on 2 goals. We all agree this team can keep getting the job done. I think against Sevilla, they exceeded our expectations there in the 3 that we got. But I think this game, it is going to be tough. We might have to work hard there for that opening goal. We might have to, again, stay patient. If we're going into the second half and it's still 0-0, just stick to the plan. Keep going. Keep doing what you've been working on the training ground. Xavi, of course, is leading this team so well right now. And like I said, important for the league that we win this game. Important as well, looking at that Man United game to continue the confidence, and let's hope we see another good performance, another encouraging display, and please as well, no more injuries. Do let me know all of your predictions for this one in the comments down below, guys. What are you expecting there in terms of Xavi's starting lineup and the score? What do you think it's going to be on Sunday night? I will see you after the game for all of the reaction, of course. Thank you indeed for joining me here today. And we do have massive games and massive videos to be coming up on the channel soon. I will see you then for all of that good stuff. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.